In this video, I'm going to be reacting to the TikTok spiral, which is a Wall Street Journal piece. And by the end of this video, you'll have learned some of the techniques that I'm using to limit the effects, the negative effects of using social media and actually increase the positive effects so I can learn and grow and develop. So in this video, what I'm actually referencing is this Wall Street Journal article, and if you haven't listened to it yet, it's pretty interesting. It's for sure a little sad, but the main concept inside of this article is basically these young women specifically who have a eating disorder or are in that realm of things, and how the algorithm inside of TikTok can actually continue to promote eating disorders as well as really extreme dieting and just unhelpful content. And what can happen is, because it's meant to give us more of what we consume, what has ended up happening is this has really affected like these two girls specifically in a really huge way. And I think if we're honest, I think it affects all of us as young adults in a really big way. And just from my own experience, there have been times where like there's a certain song either on Instagram Reels or TikTok, and then I end up finding myself thinking of that song or whatever that is, and it replays in my mind. And one of the things that I'm conscious of and wanting to be more and more aware of and growing in is, what are the dominant images in my mind? In fact, there's this quote that says the dominant images in our minds will dictate the direction of our destiny. And basically that means whatever's inside of our mind, it's creating a map of where we're going to go. And so with this in mind, and with the effects of that algorithm in mind, some of the questions that I ask is like, why is it that these songs, why do they get stuck in my head? And why is it that I end up spending more time on these apps than I want to? And I find myself asking, how do I manage this? And how do I, instead of just saying it's all bad, how do I use it to my advantage? How do I grow because of it? Is there a way to shift it to where that algorithm that can be so detrimental could actually be an advantage to me? And if you stick around till the end of this video, I'll be answering some of those questions. And inside of this process, though, there's some things that I'm in the journey of discovering, and some of that is using these apps for the interests that I have. So for example, I've gone onto TikTok, and before I go on there, I set an intention for why am I about to do the thing that I'm wanting to do. And so that can be as simple as saying, okay, what I wanted to do, like an example was I ate really great Indian food at a restaurant, and I want to learn how to make some of this stuff. And so I went on TikTok and I searched Indian food recipes, and I watched a couple of them. And what that can start to do over time, and this is similar with Instagram's For You page, that I really love cars. And so because of that, I would intentionally look at things that are about cars, because I knew that was something that I enjoyed and that's something that I want to see. And what would happen is, as I would do that, it would then feed me more of those things. So as I'm watching stuff about Indian spices and cooking on TikTok, it's going to start to feed me more of those things. And the other thing is, I have to be consistent enough with watching those things that that's what ends up being put out for me. And in addition to that, there's some other things that I do specifically with my phone. Is I have at night, I have a point where my phone turns to black and white. And this works because we as humans, we love things with color. Specifically, yellow and red are probably the top two eye-catching colors. That's why if you pay attention, you'll see them in a lot of thumbnails and a lot of things where they're wanting to break this loop of white and black and have something that's eye-catching. So if you turn your phone screen, in fact, I can actually do it right now. So this is my phone actually on the Wall Street Journal app, and then if I turn it into black and white, well, that's probably not the best example, but this is my home screen in black and white versus in color. And so I literally, there's just a little accessibility feature you can turn on. That's something that I do because it just makes your phone less interesting when there's not colors on the screen. And then another thing that we can do is to set timers on the apps themselves. And so this can be as simple as going into our settings and putting a 15-minute timer or a 30-minute timer or an hour-long timer, whatever it is that works for you, and making sure that it's something that you actually want to invest time into, rather than, because there's this difference of, am I a slave to this thing? Do I feel this compulsive need to open the app just because it's there and it's accessible? Or is it something where I'm choosing consciously to go to this thing and I'm grabbing something from it? I'm looking for a specific thing, or am I just trying to avoid my own feelings or not do something that I need to do that I know is hard, and so I'm just defaulting to this other thing? And those are the spaces where at least I find myself wanting to make sure that I have those safeguards, those things in place, so that way I can create something of value from what I'm consuming and not allow what I'm consuming to control me. That's really the biggest, like, if you only take one thing away from this video, that's the one thing, is to make sure that it's positioned in such a way that you are gaining something from it and it's not taking your mind from you, because that can be really easy to do. And then really the biggest thing is setting that intention. And something else that you can also do is create a risk or reward inside of using these different social media platforms. Of inside of your screen time, it will show how long on average per day and per week you've used these different apps, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, or even Netflix. Like there are those things. And something that can be really helpful is to have someone on a weekly basis ask you, hey, are there any addictions or distractions that are pulling you away from what's important to you? And that's something that I actually have in my own life, which is a small group, a group of guys that, for me, it's, do I have any addictions or distractions that are pulling me away from the Lord? But that can be pulling you away from school. That can be pulling you away from your career and where you're wanting to move forward towards. Whatever the major things in your life are, we want to be investing a major amount of time into those. And the other thing is that this space of social media, of Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all these things, it can be used well. The problem is it's really hard to do that. And I have found that I can't do it on my own. And I need other people. I need these structures, this way of seeing the world differently, of having things that are helpful in place. Otherwise, I can't do it as effectively. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope those ideas were helpful in terms of having a risk or reward, setting a timer, having your phone in black and white, as well as making sure that you search for the things that you want to search for. So if you've enjoyed this video and this has been helpful for you, please go ahead and give this video a like. It really helps other people who are searching for this type of material to find it. And please subscribe if you are a young adult or college student wanting to develop in character. This is the type of stuff that I'm going to be reacting to and responding to, and continuing to share my own experience as I'm in this journey of progress and learning and growing. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you later.